API Federation Orchestration. Let's see how to create workflow using API Builder. API Builder enables federating APIs, combining REST, SOAP, GraphQL, and database connections efficiently. Simply click on plus icon to create a new workflow. Let's start with an account creation workflow. Configure the Start node to extract necessary information from request and set up the workflow URL. Add a REST target to validate the existence of the customer's account by making an API call. Extract the API response using JS OnPath and store the result in a variable for use throughout the workflow. Incorporate a conditional branching node into workflow to proceed with asserting the response captured from the previous API call. Click on the If node to add an assertion. Drag the variable that needs to be asserted and apply comparative operators such as equals, not equals, greater than, or less than, and many more. We can orchestrate a dedicated flow for the else block as well. Let's add a response node for the else flow. We have an on error option to define the workflow behavior if assertion fails. We can either continue the flow or terminate execution with a response. Let's make a service callout to the Create Customer API by configuring the API details with request body captured in the Start node of the workflow. Let's generate an OTP for authentication. Validate the OTP using Authentication node, which is one of our authorization nodes. Make a service callout to create account API if the authentication is success. In the response node, we can integrate the workflow response with the response code and response body by stitching together multiple variables captured from various API calls. Once the workflow is ready, we can change the revision status from draft to another status. Deploy the workflow to virtual host once it has been approved. Now, open the Run tab, configure the workflow requirements, and click on Run. Once the workflow is executed, we can view a high-level execution log in this panel. Click this button to view the workflow response, and also see the details of each individual node, including request and response information. Click on the Events tab to view all workflow execution logs. We explored how to orchestrate an API Builder workflow to federate multiple APIs running across different services. Thank you for choosing API Wiz.